bill would require. But I'm not going to let the Labor Party off the hook, because in just about every respect the Labor Party's position or policy on asylum seekers is identical to the Liberal Party, identical to the National Party. It was the Labor Party that created mandatory detention. It's the Labor Party that continues to support offshore processing. It's the Labor Party that approves of boat towbacks. So I'm not going to let either side off the hook here. You're both peas in a pod. You're both as bad as each other. You are both a black mark on this nation's history. And when in years to come they write books about this shameful period in Australian history, they won't let the Labor Party off the hook, because they will list the Liberal Party and the National Party and the Labor Party in the same list. Parties that regard this as a border security problem, parties that regard this as a political challenge that if they don't handle really cleverly, it will backfire on them at the opinion polls. Well, I say to the Liberal Party and to the National Party and to the Labor Party, how about you start treating these poor souls who are fleeing for their life, how about you start treating them as human beings? How about you start treating this as a humanitarian challenge? It's not a border security problem for Australia. It's a humanitarian challenge for Australia. How about the Liberal Party, the National Party and the Labor Party start to see this for what it is and stop treating it as a border security problem? Start acting like real leaders. Start standing up in front of the community and stand for something and fight for it, and say that this country has an ethical obligation, this country has a legal obligation to stand for what's right. And when people come to our shores, whether it be by air or by boat, we give them protection, we hear their claim, and we give them permanent refuge in our lucky country for as long as they want to stay here. That would be the right thing to do. That would be the legal thing to do. It would be entirely consistent with the Refugee Convention. It would be entirely consistent with the Rome Statute. It would be entirely consistent with the Convention on the Rights of the Child, entirely consistent with the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. And then how about the Labor Party and the National Party and the Labor Party? Perhaps you could even put your heads together for once and stop being so confrontational and start acting in a collegiate way, and I'm sure the crossbench will be happy to work with you in a collegiate way, and to develop a sophisticated response to asylum seekers. Look at ways to settle the situation down in source countries. Look at the way to give real assistance to countries of first asylum, countries like Pakistan and Iran who currently get next to no aid from us.